Hey guys, how's it going today? Welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a good day so far. Today I'm here to tell you 10 reasons that you should learn guitar. Whether this is something you wanted to do your entire life, or perhaps maybe you're just starting to think about learning to play the guitar, I'm giving you some really cool reasons to start to learn guitar. So, number one, there's never been an easier time to learn guitar than right now. Now there's plenty of reasons for this, but I'm going to start with the price of guitar. So as time has gone on, cheaper guitars have become better and better. You know, back in the day, cheap guitars really were not great. In fact, learning on a really cheap instrument was probably a lot more difficult than it would be today. The quality of these guitars have risen the more time has gone on. So in reality, you could spend about maybe $100 or maybe even $200 if you're willing to pay that much out of pocket to pick up a really decent instrument to begin learning on. And the cool thing about these beginner guitars, I guess we'll call them, is that they can last you years and years. I know plenty of guitar players that still have their first guitar. These are not terrible instruments. Of course, look up reviews and figure out what would work best for you. But ultimately, the price you pay for these guitars is worth it, especially if you're just starting out. Another reason that learning guitar is so easy right now is there's so many tools out there to learn. In fact, let's start.
Alright, sorry to pause the video, guys. Editor Dan here. You can tell I'm Editor Dan by the computer glasses and the subtle yet effective change of background music. Now I had to pause the video because we gotta confront this little ball of nervousness and optimism. Yeah, he did great through the rest of this video, but at the beginning, kind of screwed some stuff up. First of all, my dude, you didn't even introduce yourself. So now in post, I gotta introduce you to everyone. Which is me, which is weird, you understand? So with that said, I'm Daniel Townsend. You can call me Dan, and welcome to the video. Yeah, this dude just kind of went on and on for way too long about this next topic, so I'm here to condense this into a really short thing. Try not to waste your time today. So the gist is this. There's a ton of different resources out there for trying to learn guitar, the first being YouTube. So on YouTube, there's a ton of different channels that are out there that are totally dedicated to teaching guitar, and it's completely free, which is a great first option. Now part two would be online video chat lessons, which typically are a little less expensive than in-person private lessons. Now the benefit to these video lessons is that you're in the comfort of your own home. No one's coming into your house. You don't necessarily have to clean up for them. You can just, in your pajamas, walk over to your computer, get your lesson, and be done, which is a big plus for a lot of people. And then of course, lastly, there's private one-on-one lessons. If you're someone that benefits from sort of a one-on-one in-person environment, then that's probably your best option. But the bottom line is that you have a ton of resources and there's really no excuse to not start learning the guitar. Whether you'd like to start your journey for free on YouTube or perhaps invest in a private tutor. Now what I just said in about 40 seconds probably took this guy 2.5 minutes. I mean, it was ridiculous. So let's get back to the video. See you guys.
Okay, so now we're moving on to number two. Number two is that the guitar is a very expressive instrument. And now that's not to say that other instruments aren't expressive. There's a ton of different expressive instruments. I'm hoping not to get a bunch of hate for that. But let me give a quick story about me growing up. I actually started on piano, and while I loved that as a kid, it wasn't quite as expressive, in my opinion, as the guitar was. So, I'd sit there at the keyboard and yeah, I'd, play the key, no sound. And yeah, you can press it loud, you can press it soft, but as far as expression goes, that's kind of all you get. You can do slurs and things, but there's not a whole lot of options. But when I started to learn the guitar alongside the piano, I realized that there's so much you can do with the guitar. It's so fun to be able to just milk the strings and really get some cool sounds and unique phrases out of this thing. For example, we have bending, we have slides, we have dynamics, we have vibrato, we have things we could do with the guitar pick, like scrapes, or pick scrapes. There's just a ton of other things you can do on guitar as well. And a further point on that, if you have a decent amp that has a clean channel and a dirty channel, has a couple options, and you also have a guitar that has more than one pickup, as most guitars do, you have a ton of different sounds and options at your disposal with changing the sound on your amp and changing the pickups and volume and tone knob on your guitar. Number 3, guitars are sort of like musical chameleons. What I mean by this is guitars can be found and used in so many different genres of music, pretty much anything you can think of. We've got rock, we've got pop, we've got jazz, we've got blues, we've got soul, we've got funk, we've got rock, R&B, classical music, rock, even electronic music. There's a space for guitar everywhere. Number 4, guitars are easy to move around. Okay, that might sound like a really dumb reason to start to learn guitar, but hear me out on this one. Especially if you find like a little gig bag, you can throw it in and carry it along with you anywhere you go. It's easy to store in your car, it's easy to take on trips. If you need to practice guitar, you can bring it along with you. If you also start playing a bunch of shows, it's really nice that all you have to do is carry maybe 1 or 2 of these things around to your shows, unless you're absolutely crazy and need 10 guitars for a show. Let me tell you from experience, it's a lot easier than being the keyboard player or especially the drummer, having to lug all this stuff around all the time. Drums will fill up your car completely and you kind of need a bigger car to do something like that. Versus this guitar, you put it in your passenger seat and it's pretty much in your passenger seat for the rest of your life, literally and figuratively. All right, I guess we're halfway through the video. Number 5 is that learning songs has also never been easier than it is now. I understand that reading music notation takes a lot of time, effort, and energy. However, you can learn to read guitar tabs in just like 10 minutes. It's very simple to understand. It's basically like just looking at a bird's eye view of your guitar neck. And once you learn how to do that, you can immediately start learning how to play your favorite songs. When I was growing up, and I still think to this day, Ultimate Guitar is the very popular website to find guitar tabs for songs. But if you're in the market for something different, I'd actually suggest Songster. That's actually spelled Songsterr. What's cool about Songster is that it actually plays the music along with the tab, so you can kind of see how things line up. In my opinion, it's easier for everybody, whether you're a beginner or an advanced player. It just kind of speeds up the process if you use that website. Also, tons of YouTube playthroughs where you can actually watch someone physically do it if you're not into reading the tablature as well. Okay, the next one is one of my favorite ones. This is number 6, and this actually pertains to you singers out there. If you sing and you don't play guitar, it's time to play guitar. The reason for that is you become a one-stop shop the second that you learn to sing and play guitar at the same time. This also ups your practice game as well. The feeling you get when you play guitar and you sing, like if I'm sitting in this room and I sing and play, it just feels so good. And I don't have to rely on anyone else. Which also means if I need to go book a gig and I don't know anyone that can accompany me, it doesn't matter. I can go out and play my own shows right now. I can get my stuff out there. So I'll admit it's kind of nice to not have to worry about getting everyone's schedules to line up for practice or for shows. You're just ready to go. And I gotta tell you, this is also gonna up your singing game quite a bit. The vibration of the guitar and the vibration of your voice will begin to match better and better, and you'll know what it feels like to hit that note perfectly. It's almost like you're just fine-tuning this whole machine that is the guitar and singing. It's almost like one unit. Honestly, it's really powerful. I would recommend it to anyone that sings. Just learn a couple guitar chords and watch the whole experience just change you forever. Mudkip, sing us a song. Number 7! You can create an endless amount of sounds with the guitar. Now I've touched on this a bit earlier with having an amp with different sounds along with different pickups, but this goes so much deeper than that, especially when we begin to consider the beautiful world of guitar pedals. Guitar pedals are like candy, more expensive candy. I'm in debt. Let's take a real world example. If we think of the band U2 and the guitarist The Edge, he uses a ton of different effects and pedals to create his sounds. His sound never is just some boring guitar sound. Not that that's boring, by the way, but it always has some sort of landscape and really big, huge atmospheric sounds. And so maybe if you're a music producer or really like kind of pushing the envelope a little bit, getting into the guitar might be sort of the gateway into creating these larger sounds. So I bet a lot of you watching right now have a digital audio workstation at home. I'm running Logic right here behind me. Whatever you have likely has a bunch of different guitar amp sims and effects that you can throw on top of guitar when you plug it in. That's like free pedals right there. Free pedals. Wow. Number 8. Learning guitar is good for your brain. It's been shown that there's an increase in cognitive functions for people that play instruments, or in this case, play guitar. Obviously, I haven't done this research myself, so I'll throw up the people that I'm referencing probably right here and also in the link in the description as well if you want to check it out. So it's been shown that learning an instrument has protective effects against old age. And it's also been shown, for those of you that happen to be a little bit older, that it helps with your reaction times. So if you aspire to be like a 75-year-old ninja warrior, learning guitar is the first step of that journey. It's been shown that musicians have a larger corpus callosum. Callosum? I hope I'm saying that right. Corpus callosum. I'm going with that. Anyway, that's the part of the brain, like this big bundle of nerves kind of in the center that connects the left side and the right side of the brain. It's also been shown that musicians have better literacy skills, spatial reasoning, and verbal memory. Now, from my own personal experience, playing the guitar is a lot like a meditative practice. The point of meditation is sort of to give your brain a moment to relax and stop kind of running around like a crazy monkey all the time. It's kind of like giving it a nice little moment to breathe and not focus on anything, but just simply be as is. So when I pick up the guitar and play, and I know this is true for a lot of you musicians out there, when you play, it's like you're not thinking about anything other than playing. It really gives the brain a chance to relax, express its own creativity and joy, and not focus on, you know, the crappy breakfast you spent 20 bucks on and regret. You're not worried about that crappy test score you got the other day because you were up the previous night concerned about why octopuses have multiple brains and they're going to take over the world. So playing guitar is a nice break from all that. Alright, number 9 is kind of a shorter one, but it's very important. Learning to play guitar is going to help you connect with your emotional side, and I certainly know that's true for me. There's something deeper than just playing a guitar. That's great, but being able to express your own sort of emotional states and memories is really powerful. Also, learning your favorite songs on guitar that you have sort of an emotional connection to can be really powerful. It's one thing to listen to a song and sort of its lyrical content and really, you know, develop a relationship with it on that level. But having that and then also understanding how to play through the whole thing ups that emotional sort of connection you get with the song even further. It's a great way to connect to music and to yourself. Learning guitar has just been one of the greatest things that I could have ever experienced. Okay, so we made it to number 10. You should start to learn guitar because you've always dreamed of doing it. Perhaps an obvious point, but I know a lot of you have been sitting around thinking about it, so you finally clicked on this video to hopefully get some sort of push to finally pull the trigger. And I'm telling you, now is the time, especially if you've been dreaming of this. I've been teaching students for years and years, some younger, some older, but I'll tell you what, those that have a passion for wanting to learn can absolutely achieve anything, and it will totally break any barriers you come across as a musician. Especially when you take into account the previous reasons I gave you guys, especially that first one, right? That the barrier to entry is not really much of a barrier at all. If you've been wanting to do this, go ahead and do it, guys. You've got the resources out there, and you already have an edge on a lot of people because you are already passionate about doing this. And I'll bet you that can carry you through for years of a great experience on guitar. Alright guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. What?
Yeah, I got another one.
Okay, apparently Mr. Mudkip over here wants to give us an 11th reason to learn guitar. What do you got?
It looks cool.
He's right. As silly as that is, playing guitar looks so cool. Playing guitar is easily one of the most aesthetically pleasing things on this planet. Let's say you're going to a show and you see one of your favorite bands and the guitarist comes out, walks up to the front stage and just completely nails a beautiful solo or a beautiful bend right in front of you. I'm not plugged in. But when you witness that, it's like witnessing a superhero jumping off a massive building and doing that sweet superhero landing at the bottom. It's like, yes, you did it. You're right, I'm glad we covered that point. That was a really important point, obviously. Alright guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did like it, please, I'd really appreciate if you left a like for me. That's going to help out the channel a ton, and you can also subscribe. I plan to have a lot more instructional guitar videos and other music videos on this channel in the upcoming months. I'm very passionate about teaching and giving you the tools you will need to become the best musician that you can be. Actually, on that topic, I'll post my Instagram handle down in the description because I do a lot of like 1-minute lessons on there. They're very fast paced. And what I imagine I'll do is I'll take those 1-minute concepts and move them to the world of YouTube and really delve into those so that they're a lot more in depth and easier to comprehend. All right guys, I'm out. I'll see you next time.